Are you Dewan Fairley? Mr. Fairley, you're charged with assault of a family member. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you.
Any witness and the defendant are dating and they have a child. On October 14th, 2024, any witness was driving while the defendant was a passenger and their son was in the rear seat. Defendant began questioning complaining witness because he thought she was cheating, which prompted an argument. Defendant began putting his hands in complaining witness's face, impairing complainant's ability to see the road. Complainant brought the vehicle to an immediate stop. Defendant then began grabbing her left shoulder. While defendant was grabbing her shoulder, complaining witness turned and bit defendant on his hand in an attempt to get defendant to release her. Defendant then punched complainant with a closed fist in the face, causing pain.
All right, Mr. Fairley, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. Do we know whether she wants to have contact with him?
I believe she does want contact, Judge. It looks like someone from DVD to RIP.
How do you have that belief?
Someone from our domestic
back.
violence division called her and she said she doesn't want to move forward. So she does want contact with the defendant.
Any other priors that you see?
No criminal history, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Fairley, I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to have any threatening or harassing contact with this witness. If I find that you do, I'm going to put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Sir.
So I don't know what kind of relationship you have with this person, but if you're someone who's constantly going to fight with this person, be careful. Because remember, it's not what you think as far as threatening or harassing, it's how she perceives. So can conduct in and of itself violate this order? It absolutely can. If I go like this, is that threatening or harassing? It is. And it can land you in jail in a moment's notice. Do you understand?
Sir.
We're going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. So I will have you come up here. The other thing you need to understand is there's a protective order that is in place. I would get to know it because if you violate the protective order, the state can and will file additional charges against you. And then it gets ugly really quick. You understand? I will have you come up here. Well, we're going to have you sign a court order for you not to have any threatening or harassing contact. I'm also prohibiting you from having any weapons as well. No guns, knife, nothing. I'll have you sign a receipt and we'll get you out of here to hire a lawyer. All right? Do not leave until you sign our bond conditions. Otherwise, I'll issue a warrant. Please. Can you file no threatening and harassing?
Fernandez.
No weapons.
Page 10.
Which one?
Fernandez on page 10.
Come up. Ms. Hernandez,
Yes, Hernandez. How are you?
you're charged with theft. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. Please don't say anything.
On August 18th, 2023, the defendant issued a check for $1,577 as a payment for vehicle registration. The bank returned the check saying that there were insufficient funds. Complaining witnesses provided a copy of the demand letter sent to the defendant, no response.
Got it. All right, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. You need a lawyer to represent you in this case. This is a theft by check and it can have dire consequences on your, going forward. We're going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. So I'm not going to put any conditions on your bond. Just be careful. Don't pick up any new cases. We'll just have you sign a receipt and we'll get you out of here. When you come back, please have a lawyer. Okay? Please.
All right, Judge. Next is Richardson. 2122.
Is Ramona here?
Yes.
She's hiding from you.
In spirit.
Yes.
Kendrick Richardson, you are on bond for 2 assaults and now you've picked up a new case.
Can I explain myself?
We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
On October 15th, 2024, officers were assisting with a stranded motorist disabled in Harris County, Texas, when a witness ran up to the officer and stated that he had been shot at. Witness fell on the ground and the officers observed defendant running across the street. Witness pointed out the defendant and stated defendant was the one who shot him.
What?
Shot at him.
And he's charged with an evading arrest and an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon?
I can look further into the offense report.
Your Honor,
But
on this case, initially, yes, that's what the complainant said, but upon further investigation, the officer could not locate the weapon. And also, he was unsure of whether, based on the officer's report, whether the defendant was the one who shot based on location of the complainant, as well as the fact that he couldn't observe the weapon upon retracing the steps of the defendant.
Don't we have shot spotters out there now anyways? I mean, it would be interesting to see where this location is, see if there's an actual shot spotter out there. If there is, let's pull the records. It's not rocket science, okay?
So the defendant then began running in the officer's direction. Officers marked patrol vehicle was blocking the lanes with lights activated. Officer yelled at D to stop. And
I'm the defendant, you.
You are the defendant.
Yelled at the defendant to stop and identified himself as police. Defendant turned around and began to run away from the officer. Officer gave chase and yelled again to the defendant, IDing himself and asking for the defendant to stop, which the defendant refused, looking back and continued running. Approximate length of chase was 0.6 miles.
Mr. Richardson, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your evading arrest. You have been given multiple bonds. I asked you to do one thing while you were on bond for both of those assault cases. Do you remember?
Stay clean,
And stay out of trouble.
stay out of trouble. I was shy.
And now you picked up a new case. I'm revoking your bond. He goes with you.
Revoking my bond.
Mhm.
I was shy.
We're gonna look further into the facts.
Please. All right, who's next?
Judge, that was the last arraignment for
Okay,
now.
ready?
Well, Your Honor, I'm here on tomorrow at Ely, and I was appointed on Friday.
Custody or bond?
She's on bond.
Really with a K?
Ely,
Ely.
EALY.
Okay,
And I'm still waiting on discovery from the state. It was an older case,
set it off because, so
so we could get discovery, which there is none. I mean,
We re-requested it from HPD, and we have not gotten any response regarding any kind of body cam or dash cam or station video.
we subpoena the officer to come here today?
I'm sorry?
Didn't we subpoena the officer to come here today?
I don't think we did. That might have been a different case that you're thinking of, because we did subpoena an officer about 2 weeks ago. to
Okay,
provide
so let's do
surveillance.
that with this case as well now.
Okay, yes, Judge.
Officer, he's got to be here in a week to provide any and all videos, all evidence in this case, and let him know if he fails to show up, or if he fails to get the evidence, then I'm gonna have a show cause hearing. Okay, so we'll set it off a week. I'm not waiving the appearance. She's got to come back, and then we'll see in a week. Hopefully we can have it by then. Okay, thanks. Hey, Max.
Now is-
I have two. Vernicia Bennett is the last name, first one.
Okay,
So this is one, Judge, where she was charged with a federal offense out of Atlanta. It's like a fraud theft thing. She was charged after our case was filed, but events occurred prior. She has an attorney in Atlanta.
she's a lawyer too?
No, she's not. No. She has an attorney. in
Okay,
Atlanta. Right now, it looks like.
she in
the-
custody?
No, they've let her out, but the AUSAs there are recommending like 2 years roughly in federal custody. They're still kind of negotiating that, I guess. I don't know all the details.
You guys don't represent her in the
Do
federal?
not, I have nothing to do with it. State is going to not eval, but I think we think that maybe the correct resolution of this may be some sort of like a time served or something. I'm gonna ask.
And I'm okay with that.
And I'm gonna reach out to her to make sure she can reach out to them if that needs to be part of their plea negotiation or whatever.
I can't imagine it's a federal case, and it's a different jurisdiction. So, I'll give you a couple weeks,
Okay.
but she's got to be here at the next setting.
Understood. I'll tell her that. That's fine.
Okay,
And we also have Carlos Gomez, Judge.
give me a second when you're ready.
Yes, sir.
Weeks must appear. You said Gomez, right?
Yes, sir. So on
Okay.
this one, I think they are gonna have trouble wheeling him. He is in his own driveway by the time police arrive, and it's like he takes a picture from his driveway of the vehicles. They're gonna reach out. There is potentially a lay witness who is the wheel witness. And so they're gonna reach out to see if that person can actually saw him driving. I don't believe that he did. And so we would just ask for a couple weeks for them to do that.
Sure, in the event that you're able to make the case, what do you want to do?
Okay, great.
Are you going to set it then? Or are you going to?
Then I will know, I'll talk with him about it and let him know. I don't think they've looked at that.
In the event that it crumbles, is he approved for PTI?
It's a second,
Yeah,
Right.
yes,
It
Judge.
happens as a first.
is it?
Okay, so he was.
Oh, he
yeah,
has
I
one that
believe
was dismissed.
Gabriel was
That's what it was.
dismissed For PT, he already, I
Was it
think. completed
PTI
the
dismissal?
PTI
That's what it
program.
was. Sorry.
Yeah, so he probably. would-
And I'm
yeah.
not, I'm not going to do time served on him.
Okay.
So let him know.
Okay, I'll talk about it. Understood.
All right, so we'll give you, 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay, that's fine. And he's here too today.
Okay, so, but be ready by next time.
Okay. Oh,
Okay, all right. Trial case, guys, are you ready? Tyler, you ready? Okay. Let me see about doing this plea. I'll let you translate just because we don't have it, but sign your name on the bottom that you translated. Mr. Dominguez, you're
Señor Domínguez, a usted se le acusa
Driving while
de manejar
intoxicated.
intoxicado.
facing up to a year in
Usted
jail
enfrenta
and or a
cárcel
$4,000.
hasta un año y multa de $4,000.
Guys have worked out an agreement. They're
Tenemos
offering
un
you 1
acuerdo
year in jail
Que le ofrecen un año en la cárcel,
to be probated for
que
1
le van a
year.
dar probatoria por un año. This is Domínguez.
As part of the probation, you will do a TRAS, which is an evaluation to
Una
see what
evaluación que se llama
you
TIRAS
may
para
need.
ver cuáles otras condiciones usted
also do
posiblemente
a
necesita.
repeat offender
Vas a
DWI
tomar
education class,
Una clase de droga y alcohol,
one victim impact
un
panel,
clase panel de impacto de víctimas.
have a guardian
Tienes
interlock
que hacer el aparato de soplar
throughout the entire time,
por medio de todo la probatoria.
no breath test
Usted
refusal.
no puede negar la muestra de aliento. Si te
An officer asks you to submit to a breath sample, you
piden
must.
hacer una muestra de aliento, lo tienes que hacer.
No drugs,
No puede usar drogas, no puede usar ningún tipo de alcohol.
have now. Does he have a device now?
No, he doesn't have a device at this moment. No tienes aparato de soplar, ¿verdad? No. He doesn't have a device right now. Le van a dar 2 semanas,
Must have the device within 2
pero
weeks.
tienes que tener el aparato dentro de 2 semanas.
If not,
Si no lo tienes,
violate any of these conditions.
si violas
in
cualquier
jail.
condición, te van a meter a la cárcel.
If
Él
you
quiere que usted
continue
entienda
to
que si usted consume alcohol mientras estando en la
tells me that you
probatoria,
have a
quiere
problem,
decir que usted necesita
you
un
in a
problema
rehab
y
facility,
te puede poner una rehabilitación.
understand.
¿Usted entiende? Yes.
You're giving up the right to a
Usted
trial,
está renunciando al derecho de ir a juicio, derecho de tener testigos con usted,
cross-examine
confrontar
you.
los testigos que se le acusan.
Not a
Si usted
citizen,
no es ciudadano de los Estados Unidos,
in consequence,
hay consecuencias de inmigración posiblemente que puede resultar en deportación, exclusión del
natural.
país, le pueden negar cualquier aplicación.
to accept this
Cuando
agreement.
usted acepta esto, no hay manera de apelar el caso. Usted tiene que cumplir con todo.
Okay.
Si no, te van a meter a la cárcel.
You will also be responsible
También va a
for
ser
the
responsable
DPS fines and fees and
Pagar los gastos y
surcharges,
las multas de
which will come
DPS,
around to around
le van a
35,
ser
I'm sorry, no,
aproximadamente
$500.
4,500
Hey,
que usted va a hacer un requisito de pagar, porque si no lo pagas,
jail for
no
every
puede
$100,
ser que te metan en la cárcel por cada
sit
100
1 day in
dólares,
jail.
un día en la cárcel por cada 100 dólares que no pagas.
Understand?
¿Usted entiende eso?
Sí.
Yes, Your Honor.
Give you plenty
Este
of
va a dar bastante tiempo para pagar esa multa.
years to pay it
Va a
off.
ser aproximadamente 2 años para pagarlo, pero si no lo pagas, te van a meter a la cárcel. Yes, Your Honor.
Question.
¿Usted tiene alguna pregunta? No, sir.
How do you plead to the
¿Cómo
officer?
se declara la ofensa de manejar intoxicado?
Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, Your Honor.
On you,
Va a encontrar que sí es culpable.
because you are doing a
Porque usted
probation,
está haciendo
not
una
going to
probatoria,
suspend.
no te van a suspender la
I
licencia.
don't know if you have a
Pero
driver's
él no
license.
sabe si usted tiene licencia a este punto.
No.
Si usted no tiene licencia de conducir, usted no puede manejar para nada.
Do you have a Texas
¿Usted
driver's
tiene
license?
licencia de conducir?
No.
No, sir.
And I'm making that also a
Va a ser
condition.
una condición de la probatoria que usted
Signing
no
an
puede
affidavit
manejar, que
before
usted va a firmar un documento
promising us that
jurando
you're not going to
que usted
drive
no va a manejar para nada durante el tiempo de la probatoria. Si lo encuentran manejando,
lots of
lo van a
time.
meter a la cárcel. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, good luck.
Buena suerte.
Okay, everyone.
Thank you, Judge.
4,500 plus the full cost.
Just so you know, when it's probation, we don't give them 2 years. Because it goes through the probation.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah. They can always, on the bottom of the plea, on the bottom of the actual plea, it says,
Judge Fleischer.
okay,
John Johnson. Big Wayne. Come on up.
can you just do this arraignment real quick?
Page 12.
And I'll hit you up next time. Is it DeTwain Johnson? DeTwan. Mr. Johnson, you're charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present if you cannot afford one. One will be appointed to you soon.
On October 16th, 2024, officers conducted a traffic stop in Harris County, Texas on a silver Buick bearing a Texas temp tag with no return to a motor vehicle, no light, and not sure what that means. But he had a temp tag that did not return to a vehicle and no lights in the back. So the defendant exited from the driver's side of the motor vehicle, leaving the vehicle on, and walked towards the patrol motor vehicle quickly. Defendant attempted to walk back towards the driver's side to turn off the motor vehicle. Officers stopped defendant before he opened the door. Defendant stated the firearm was inside the vehicle. Officers opened the driver's side door and observed a Glock in plain view, unholstered, and in the driver's side door panel.
Find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. Do you have a valid Texas driver license?
No, sir, I have an ID, a state ID.
Not allowed to drive. I'm making that a condition of your bond, and you will be signing an affidavit with me today promising you're not going to drive. If you get a Texas driver license and liability insurance, I will let you drive. But until that point, if I find that you drive, I will have a contempt hearing. You'll be facing an additional 6 months and a $500 fine every time you drive. Do you understand?
I had insurance on my car though. They didn't.
Don't have a license. You need a license, a Texas driver's license.
Oh, yes, sir.
Until you have a license, you can't drive. I'm glad that you have insurance because that's really one of the most important parts. Because if you get into an accident and create $50,000 in damage, if you don't have insurance, they're going to come after you and make you pay the 50 grand.
Yes, sir.
Have insurance. And if you get into an accident, they'll even give you a lawyer to represent you. But you still need a license. If you get a license, come back and show me, and then I'll take this off. But until that point, don't. We're going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. So I'm going to have you come up here, swear to us that you're not going to drive, not be in possession of any weapons, and after that, we'll let you go. What do you do for a living?
I work for landscaping and mulching.
And how much money do you make a month?
Oh, my father. Work for like 2,500. It'd be like 2,500.
A month?
It's not that much, you know. It's just
2,500 is not bad. I mean, who do you live with? Where? Do you live by yourself in the apartment or who with?
just me.
Do you have any children?
Yes, sir. I have a daughter.
Where's the kid now? Do you provide support for the child? I'll have you fill out an application. I'll take a look at it to see whether you qualify. I need to know everything about you, what kind of car you have, how much money you have in the bank.
I don't have a bank account there.
Telling you, don't put all zeros, because if you do that, I'm going to send it right back to you. I need to know everything about you, monetary, financial, everything. Do you understand? We'll have you come up here, swear to this, and then they'll give you an application, fill it out, and I'll take a look, okay?
Judge, we also have a Spanish arraignment.
Hi, caramba, la bamba. Come on, man.
Page 10, Gutierrez.
Come on, Luis. Okay, yeah. Is it page what, 10?
10.
Israel Gutierrez.
Yes.
Mr. Gutierrez, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you.
On October 15th, 2024, officers observed defendant's motor vehicle exit a parking lot and drive into the main roadway very suddenly with rapid acceleration. Officers saw that the vehicle had a defective license plate light and expired registration. After officers stopped the vehicle and made contact with the defendant, officers observed the defendant to be wearing no shirt, had unbuttoned pants on, a strong odor of alcohol in his breath, and glassy eyes. Defendant was leaning on his car for support when asked to step out. Defendant admitted to drinking. SFSTs were conducted. 6 out of 6 HGN, 4 out of 8 walk and turn, and 2 out of 4 one-leg stand. DICs were read, but breath was refused, and a blood warrant was signed and executed.
Any prejudice?
No, Judge.
Mr. Gutierrez, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward to the case. Do you have a valid Texas driver license? Are you in the United States citizen? Are you in this country with or without permission? You're a citizen? Do you have liability insurance in your name? Okay, as long as you have both, you can continue to drive. I am ordering you not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or drugs, I'm going to put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand? Can you run his license for me, please? We're going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. So I'm going to have you go to Victoria real quick, sign a reset. You'll get with pre-trial for your bond conditions. And after that, you'll be free to go. When you come back, please have a lawyer. And I'm going to tell you this now, that don't take your time waiting for a lawyer because you're only hurting yourself. There's a lot of timing requirements with the DWI, and it could really hurt you if you just sit there and wait. Okay? That's okay. Please. Okay. Great.
Right this way.
Okay, Robert, let's go.
Coach, ready, coach? COJ. Sí, señor, no, señor.
Are you Coach Tambariz Franklin Abraham?
Yes, sir.
Charged with driving while intoxicated, you're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. You guys have worked out an agreement. They're offering you 3 days in jail, credit for the 2 days that you have served. You need to understand, after today, this DWI will go on your record. If you were ever pulled over, an officer will see a prior DWI. If you smell like alcohol or dope, they're going to arrest you, put you in jail. What we're doing today, from now on, you're facing a minimum of 90 days in jail. So if you're not in this country with permission and you go to jail for that kind of time, I can all but guarantee an immigration detainment. So if I were you, I would never get in a car, even if you've had a sip of alcohol. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You're giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen or a possible immigration consequence, you can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty, you cannot change this. It will go on your record and you can never take it off. Is this what you want to do?
Yes,
Is it true or untrue that you had a 0.15 or above?
yes.
Okay, so true to the enhancement. All right, sir. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty? I will find you guilty, sentence you to 3 days in jail. I will give you credit for the 2 days that you've done. I'm going to suspend your license for 90 days. Do not drive. Your license is now suspended. Do you understand? If you drive, you're going to be right back over here, and it's not going to go well for you. All right,
Judge,
good luck.
she makes between $500 and $600 a week, supports an elderly mother. He doesn't have much money. Can you waive the state traffic fine, Judge, on that? He doesn't have any savings, no bonds, no stocks.
I want you to understand something, Mr. Coach Tambariz, that your lawyer is asking me to waive the fines and fees for you. Do that as a courtesy. Now, I'm taking away around $500 to about $4,000 in fines and fees. It will not happen again. You come back here with DWI, it's going to be at least $6,000 to $7,000 that you will be responsible for. So out there, back here with another DWI, it's really going to go sideways for you. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right.
Thank you very much, Judge. Thank you. Thank you.
It's okay. All right, Herman, du lieber Augustin. One more, and then I'm bringing the jury in. It's 9:04. I mean, they've been sitting for an hour. Okay. Ricardo, what do you got real quick?
Judge, if I can approach real fast. Oh,
Just-
Wanna start trial?
Okay, what's the name?
Freddie Ruiz, Judge?
Freddie Ruiz.
Yes.
Mr. Ruiz, you're charged with racing on a highway. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
On October 15th, 2024, officers observed two motor vehicles traveling at a high rate of speed on the 3100 block of Blalock Road in Harris County, Texas. Officers observed both motor vehicles line up at a red light and both motor vehicles traveling at a high rate of speed side by side. Officers caught up with motor vehicles and initiated traffic stop. Officer made contact with the defendant. Defendant stated he was going home from work. The other driver swerved into his lane like he was attempting to strike the defendant's vehicle.
What?
And then the defendant decided to do the same thing to the other vehicle.
So they're like demolition derby?
That's kind of what it sounds like, Judge. And they both started traveling at a high rate of speed after that.
What does a high rate of speed mean?
¿Qué significa velocidad excesiva?
I'm gonna check the offense report and see if we have the exact speed.
And he makes an admission that they're racing?
Ellos admitieron de que estaban haciendo carrera.
He makes the admission that he was doing the same thing to the other vehicle that the other vehicle did to him, where the other vehicle was attempting to hit him.
And do we have a co-defendant as well?
Tenemos el otro acusado también.
I don't see one listed.
No veo
Judge.
listo.
Stephen, I'm gonna bring him in 5 minutes.
That's fine. I just wanted to go check on, they're still
Okay.
okay.
Percolating, you know? No.
It doesn't look like the officer provided the exact speed that they got to in the office report or in the DIMS. He just says high rate of speed.
Velocidad alta. Dígame cuál es
Racing
el
again?
tema de que están haciendo
Other than the
carrera.
demolition derby?
So the officer observed them, right, driving together. And then I believe
Luego
he
pienso
he
que
pulled the
él
defendant over,
detuvo a la persona.
and then had to call in a
y tuvo
Spanish
que llamar
speaking unit.
a español.
And then so the defendant stated that he was
Acusado
traveling
de que
home
él
from
estaba
work,
yendo
and
a
just
casa.
that the defendant swerved into his lane trying to strike his vehicle, or sorry, not the defendant, the other driver swerved into his lane trying to strike his vehicle. And then the defendant decided to do the same thing.
I get it,
So
and
he-
it could be a deadly conduct, but where's the racing?
Las carreras.
Read it again, read it again. I mean, maybe I missed it, but
No lo escuché.
So, yeah, the officers observed them traveling at a high rate of speed. Again, we don't know what speed. He watched them both line up at a red light and then going side by side at a high rate of speed. And
Different.
that's what the officer,
see it like in a competitive manner,
right,
then that's racing.
so that's what the officer observed, and then once he pulled the defendant over, that's where the officer learned that the other driver, according to the defendant, had tried to hit the defendant, and the defendant tried to hit him back.
They're at a red light, they both take off at the same time at a high rate of speed.
Right, and the officer pulls over the defendant's car.
All right, Mr. Ruiz, I'm gonna find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. This is the second time that we have an incident like this with you, so I am taking away your privilege to drive. You are not allowed to drive at all, and you will be signing an affidavit with me today, promising me that you're not gonna drive. If I find that you do, I will have a contempt of court hearing. You'll be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you drive. Do you understand? Do not drive. Do you understand? You will be facing a lot of time in jail if you do. Heed my warning, because every time you come back, I'm going to pull your record to see if you're driving or not. You have a lawyer. They will take care of you. I will waive your appearance, but it is your responsibility to stay in touch with them. And they will tell you when you have to come back to court. If they tell me they can't get a hold of you because you're playing games, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. You pick up a new case or start acting a fool in the free world, we will not give you any more PR bonds. Do you understand, Mr. Ruiz? Okay, all right.
Just quickly, this is the second time he's
He
been.
has a prior evading arrest in a motor vehicle, and now we have a racing case. I don't want him in a car. That's it,
Understand, Judge.
that way.
Judge, can you bring the bond conditions up?
Yeah, Ricardo.
Mr. Judge, is that gonna be state's bond condition?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to
Okay.
catch him before he took off on the,
Okay.
let me talk to her real fast about an issue.
You got,
Judge, we got an issue on Mr. Rafael Lobet, LOB. We're set to plea today. He would like to plea. However, there's a big issue where I would like the full disclosure on the possible Brady material that's been made known to me.
Yes, Judge, we've requested that from our disclosure database, the confidential information, and we're gonna be filing an in-camera motion and protective order this morning, as soon as
how long is it gonna take you to get it, or do you have?
I have it, so I just have to file it. I was actually in the process of printing it out for you before I came up here, so I can provide that to you.
How old is it? I'll give you a week.
Sounds good.
That's it. He's gotta be back here in a week,
That's fine, Judge.
ready to either plea.
Yes, I'll reset it. Reset 1 week. All right, that's good on that one. And then days here for the fugitive case that we wrote from yesterday. Mr. Lázaro Diaz.
I spoke with Tennessee. They did send over a governor's warrant packet to Austin back in August, but that's less important than the fact that they're coming in 2 days to pick them up. They're flying in tomorrow.
Oh,
So-
wonderful.
Yeah, they're picking up.
Great.
Judge, I would argue, hey, 90 days. Well, I don't think the 90 days were up. I think you said that they got the packet in on the 22nd.
August.
So
That's super quick. Wow, that's fantastic. Great.
I think because of the initial issue, they need to expedite this.
it sounds like Friday. It sounds like Friday. Okay.
So set it for Monday,
Yes, Judge.
in case, okay?
And the last thing, Judge, Mr. Isel Sanchez is here. I asked for an update from the mental health people. This is a regular court case in this court. And so they don't have a response from me. Can I go ahead and reset that?
Yeah, I need to see if he's working, what he's doing for a job. This is the fish tank guy?
He's the one that showed you a letter last time and said he was working with a company. We went from the fish tank to actually working.
Okay, all right. And you saw that?
He explained it to me yesterday because the last thing I was on was the fish tanks, but he explained to me that we showed a letter last time and that kind of rings a bell. Do you want me to bring him up? He's here.
No, no.
Okay.
I get the story in.
Okay.
Okay, so, yeah, set off a couple weeks.
Weeks on him? Okay, perfect. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge.
For sure. All
Thank you,
right.
Dave.
Are you ready?
Judge, let me know
Let's
for
go.
the bond.
Okay, talk to me real quick.
Judge, once it's not back, I can come back tomorrow if you're about to start trial. Oh, okay.
No, don't. That's not,
It's on the trial case we have next week, Mr. Amasquita.
are you ready?
I am, but the state emailed and asked if client would take anything. I asked him, would he want to plead? And he said yes. But I said, we'd have to check with the judge if you'd allow him to plead. Because I know you said once we're on the trial docket, 2328158-1580.
What did you offer, guys?
We've offered a time served in this case, Judge. It looked like the previous offers were withdrawn, and I'm not entirely sure why, if that was you or if that was the previous prosecutors. So we've offered a time served in this case. Mr. Amasquita has a pending felony. It's very serious in felony court.
What's going on with that?
I'm not sure about the status of this case, but it looks like it's an ag AFM. Upstairs in the 337.
He doesn't want to go to trial anymore?
He doesn't, not anymore.
Bring him in, we'll do it.
Okay, do you want him on the same day or just any day
No, before.
before the court? Okay, I will email the coordinator after I speak with him. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, for sure. Okay, you ready? All right, guys, we're about to start trial. Please do not talk. If you need to talk, go outside.
Mr. Fairley?
I'm trying to give them a moment to finish setting.
Take your
up real
time.
quick.
Okay, go. Set up, Tyler. Don't worry about it.
All the way up, all the way forward, sir.
If you can sign. Right here.
Oh.
They'll copy of
Back and forth, and we took them off, I think we took them off bond conditions and I picked up a new thing. Okay, you guys ready?
Before we started trial, came up to the judge, handed him a motion, and it was Judge Reuben Guerrero,
Mhm.
and he didn't say a word to us. He just looked at the motions for a second. We were standing there, and he just goes, "What's up with the cat?" Talking about his signature. I thought it was-
That's fine.
Let me see the last page on
I forgot where my lights embarrassment. Are you, is this on YouTube still, or that was all taken? Someone said that it was not.
We'll talk later.
Uh,
Check it out.
What do you see?
We have a dismissal, Judge, we have. There's no criminal convictions.
Sorry.
We go back on record, Judge?
Yeah, look, shh, we're on the record. Okay, what do you got?
Judge, we have, there was a charge for interfering with duties of a public servant that was tied to an
We're on the record. We've got a panel here. Okay, state, any opening? Okay, floor is yours.
We're here today, as we talked about yesterday, for a driving while intoxicated case. What we're really here is about a defendant who knew what the evidence would show from the very beginning. And what the evidence will show is what I'm going to tell you now. But before we do that, as I said yesterday, my burden is to prove each of those elements I showed you yesterday beyond a reasonable doubt. So I must prove to you that on or about March 7, 2024, the defendant operated a motor vehicle in a public place while intoxicated. All the elements I showed you yesterday, beyond reasonable doubt. You will hear from an employee at a Sonic that the defendant drove to that drive-through, struck the property, and asked for an alcoholic beverage. And it is through this interaction that the witness saw it necessary to call police. You will hear that the witness provided information to police that allowed them to locate the defendant and make contact with them. You'll hear that she provided information about his vehicle. You'll hear information that she provided information about the defendant himself.